Hey guys, I'm back for Alchemy 8 Part 2, and yeah, there's just so much to share. It's so full. It's so full. So full, which is kind of so funny too. Like with the sun and soul and soul and soil and all of it. All in the circle. And so, in the cycle. All the cycles and the stages and the phases and the ages. All the funky things and transitions during transformation. Yeah, some of the discomfort and yeah, sometimes the struggle and the stagnation, or being stuck, being stuck in the mud or feeling like a victim. Sometimes there's all of that too, and then realizing that we can claim our power and that we can ask for help too, and and then call on our resources and maybe surrender too. And so it's all of that, and it's just kind of funny. So how full is that? And it just brings me back, returns me back to the full, so the full that holds it all, into the zero, into the circle, into the womb, and to all of that, the beginning and end, the womb and the tomb, all the cycles and the endings and the beginnings and the beginnings and the endings. So it's so full. There's so much, and that's what the summertime fullness, the sun, just totally embodies all that fullness and that expression, and continuity, and how it goes on and on and on. So there's so many symbols that are so amazing, really, that just that say so much. An image is worth 1,000 words, and a symbol is a world unto itself, world of worlds within it, worlds within worlds within worlds. And that's kind of how I see things in a lot of ways. I see all those connections and the spiral, fractal, all of that, realities and things. So symbols have always spoke to me in huge ways. I'm a symbol file. It's just something I really dig. It's my soul language, and just they've always fascinated me, captivated me, mesmerized. And just kind of altered me or brought me into a different world, because that's what they do. And they're kind of like portals. They're portals into the unconscious, really. It's totally that wisdom and that access to tap into those realms and those planes and those dimensions and that experience, or that energy, and that memory that we have too. So it's just kind of all of it in certain ways too, where we do hold a lot in our unconscious mind and our collective and individual, our personal. And so I just wanted to read to you something about symbols and why, how powerful and potent symbols are, and they can be to work with. And I just always have this feeling, but it's really, really cool to see as my work has progressed, doing my own inner stuff, how everything does tie together. And I just love my toolbox, all the gifts that I have to work with, all the resources that I've been given and that are offered for me to work with and draw from and to create with. And so symbols are the language of the soul and the psyche. The possibilities for their uses are infinite. There is power in the symbol, but ultimately the power is within you. You are the engine that fuels the symbolic flame. Without your consent, focus, intent, participation, the authority of the symbol wanes. So without your consent, focus, intent, and active participation, or it can be unconscious participation too. That's true. Because we can be programmed unconsciously. We take in and we consume certain things, and we don't realize that it's activating, or that that it is a certain program that's being overwritten. It's overriding our own like internal programs and rhythms. Yeah, in certain ways, if we pay attention, we'll start to see those things. We'll start to understand those things and how it works, anyways. How we program like our own minds, our own conscious minds, our unconscious minds, like, yeah, for change and for personal power and for writing our own stories and yeah, playing and choosing our own scripts, our own roles, and all that. So you are the engine that fuels the symbolic flame. And so it's like, it is like kind of like the power that we give to it, but it also has its own power in certain ways, and it has certain power like that it can reveal, or that it can show us, or that like it can be used as a lens or a focal point, or meditation to be receptive to certain qualities and receiving, yeah, certain information or wisdom about what the symbol holds within it, or what it can express. Yeah, I guess in a certain way, if that makes any sense. It's a language, and it's a living language. It's a living expression, really, in a lot of ways. And sometimes we assign different meanings to it, but then that makes it static, and it can hold that meaning that we give to it, or that we describe to it, but like it's a lot more than that as well. Like, yeah, just like we are. So there's that as well. And so without your consent, focus, intent, and participation, the authority of the symbol wanes. So the power of the symbol wanes. So you are the light upon which the symbol reflection falls and allows its brilliance to flow. You are the light upon which the symbol's reflection falls and allows its brilliance to flow. And I got that quote from What's Your Sign? Yeah, she's got a lot of like really cool, interesting things about symbols and not like all this esoteric stuff. So yeah, that's a good site. And like, yeah, tons, like a huge compendium and of, yeah, all sorts of symbols and holy dates, Sabbats, and history, and just little things, gems to look at there on that site. So, a symbol. A mark, a sign, a word that indicates, signifies, or is understood as representing an idea, object, or relationship. Symbols allow us to go beyond what is known or seen by creating linkages between otherwise very different concepts and experiences. All communication and data processing is achieved through the use of symbols. Symbols take the form of words, sounds, gestures, ideas, or visual images and are used to convey other ideas and beliefs. Using symbolic perspectives can nurture new ways of seeing, understanding, relating, and cooperating. And so, yeah, using metaphors as well. Metaphors are great, and stories and myths, yeah. So using symbolic perspectives can nurture new ways of seeing, understanding, relating, operating, and being. So we can use knowledge of symbols to decipher and interpret visions, concepts, messages, and dreams, stories, myths, archetypal themes. Symbols are everywhere. They influence our ways of thinking, seeing, and perceiving. They are powerful tools and can be especially potent if they're being used to inspire, empower, harmonize, unify, or disempower, control, divide, and manipulate. So, yeah, symbols can be used in those ways. To empower and liberate, or to enslave and bind, you know. It can lead to bondage. It just depends on how those symbols are being used, what the intent is, and what we consent to. So there's a lot in that, a lot to that. And yeah, we can consciously choose to reclaim some of these symbols and use them, yeah, to expand our consciousness and to grow. And so, yeah, there's a lot of freaking amazing solar and summer symbols and correspondences. Like, of course, it's all about the light and life and fertility and illumination and fullness and growth and yeah, purification, all of that. And so, just that's what we're doing right now. Yeah, all that purification, going through all these changes, which, yeah, and it's all about that, all about the light and life and death. Yeah. And so, other correspondences for the sun. The sun's soul, heart, wheel, circle, star, spiral, swastika. That's the solar wheel. And swastika is a really ancient symbol, and it's thousands of years old. And it's really cool, like, yeah. And the reason we're so familiar with it is because, yeah, of the Nazi Germany, like how they used it and how they exploited that symbol. And like a lot of our symbols have been hijacked and inverted and used in ways that are perverted, you know. And like, yeah, that's just one negative way to look at the swastika, is how it was used in that way. But it's much more than that. Like, it's not just that one thing. It's like, it's everything, really. And so, yeah, like, it is a beautiful symbol, like, and it is connected to so many other symbols, which it just represents, like the wheel, which the wheel contains everything, and so the wheel could represent everything too. But like, there's a lot of significant things about the swastika, which are pretty cool because of the way, like, that the language speaks, and that it works, and that it shows and reveals creation, and like the keys and the operations, like, yeah, and the way to cooperate and navigate through creation and participate, yeah, in those ways. And yeah, it's kind of just funny how it all is. But yeah, it is a potent, powerful symbol. It's a symbol of fertility, and it was connected to the cycles of growing and the land. And it was a well-known symbol in Germany before the Nazi Party chose to use it, like, because it was connected to farming and to the, like, yeah, to the cycles of growth. And yeah, that's the natural rhythms, the cosmic laws, the dance of the heavens, and the dance, the correspondence of the light of the heavens and the light of the earth. So like, it always would go off of like life and the cycles of life and growth and death and birth and rebirth. Yeah, of course, like, yeah, of course we're going to be in tune with that, because we're part of that as human beings, like when we're connected to the land. But, you know, we've lost our connections in a lot of ways because we don't live close to the land anymore. And like, yeah, technology has like kind of taken away like some of our direct connections with, yeah, because of the artificial light and, you know, just all the distractions and everything like that. But like, it is what it is. But like, going back to our roots and going back to the rhythms of like the natural laws and the cosmic laws, and like how life works with that energetic, yeah, these energetic patterns and cycles, like an intelligence, you know, and kind of looking at symbols and archetypes and, yeah, those rhythms and those patterns, like to reorient and to like remember remember ourselves. And that just like just brings up so many other things and so many other selves. But it's just it's all related, and it's just so funny because I get one thread and then it just connects to all these other threads, and it's just, wow. But I did this painting last summer just for fun. I didn't even know it was gonna be this until it like just kind of revealed itself and emerged. And at first I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, because I didn't expect like to do a swastika, but I already knew it was like an old ancient Eastern symbol because of, you know, my appreciation of Eastern traditions and my attraction to like different practices and chants and just symbols and yeah, cultures, like with Tibetan Buddhism and Chinese Buddhism, and yeah, just those cultures, you know, like I've just always been like really blown away by the beauty of them, and just really drawn to them, and like just really felt like, yeah, like I had a lot to learn and to receive from them and from that wisdom, from those gifts. Yeah, so I claim on those gifts as resources, and I honor them as well, like everything that's been given and offered to me to receive and to appreciate and to bless and to work with. That's what I do. And so that's what I choose. And so the swastika and the wheel, it's the wheel, yeah. This is kind of funny how, like, yeah, I didn't really have a plan, but it was for fun, and it was like, and it's like more of an energetic thing, and it's for creativity, and yeah, and I really get a lot from it, and it is like kind of like mandala therapy and stuff. So I really liked and appreciated like all the colors in it and the gold and all of that. But the four arms of the swastika like do represent like the ever turning, the ever like changing, ever and never ending wheel in motion. And there are different meanings with when it's counterclockwise and clockwise. And swasti is a Sanskrit, or comes from a Sanskrit root, and it means well-being or so be it. And a couple, of course, other things, but like those are the things that stuck with me. It was well-being, it's well-being or so be it. And it's just like eternal energy in motion where it keeps generating and creating. Yeah. And so, yeah, I really appreciate that. And I had written some things down because it was like, yeah, let's reclaim these symbols. They're sacred symbols. And let's honor them and reclaim them and use them and purify them. Yeah. And raise them up again. Yeah. And, let's see, where did I write? Archetypal energies. That's funny. Oh, here it is. The swastika, a very old symbol going back to Neolithic times, revered in many cultures, found in many different forms. The name comes from Sanskrit word swasti, well-being, or so be it. The four arms are jointed, giving further reinforcement to the number 4. The number 4 stands for stability, solid material objects, the constructed universe, order and discipline, the 4 corners of the world, the 4 cardinal directions, the 4 winds, the 4 seasons, the 4 elements, with the very center of the swastika representing the quintessence, also known as the 5th element. The central hub, the still center, points to the swastika as the symbol of the axis mundi, the center of the world and the cosmos. Like a wheel, the swastika can rotate in either direction. When the arms are pointing in a clockwise direction, this symbolizes the sun. Counterclockwise, the moon. For the Hopis, a clockwise direction symbolizes the earth, and the reversed is the sun. And so that's pretty freaking awesome and loaded right there. And there's so many things about the 4 and about structure and order and stability, and also about like the emperor and like, yeah, the sacred masculine who puts order to form, or puts form into order. Yeah, structures and order for form and through form. So it's interesting, like, yeah, in those ways. But yeah, hopefully, yeah, some of that percolates. And yeah, I just wanted to say that there also, like for the wheel and for the sun, there's also these solar correspondences: the cross, the circle, the eye, gold, bronze, diamond, ruby, topaz, spiral, wheel, disc, chariot, face, star, heart, wand, sword, flowers, candles, lanterns, hearths, solar animals and deities, rainbows, life, hope, divinity, promise, creation, initiation, potential, provision, good luck, harmony, expansion, ascension, spirituality, connection, transformation, cohesion, union, bridge, Isis, Osiris, Erie, iridescence, sky, dragon, yin and yang, gateways and portals. And those are just like some solar and summer, yeah, correspondences and energies and qualities. Also, higher consciousness, super consciousness, Christ Buddha consciousness, the word, logos, heart energy, the heart and the tree of life. In the tarot, it's strength, number 8, the sun, number 19, empress, number 3, the chariot, number 7. Creative acts, Leo, regeneration, the regenerated, regenerating, soul, spirit, rebirth, vision, power to act and create, and yeah, to create life, to live. The sun is the ultimate source of fire and light. Like all sources of light, the sun shines brightly and spreads all around the world. Even as it gives its light and power to each of us, it is never diminished by the sharing of that energy. The sun passes over us each day in the never-ending circle of light. Today we share the light with each other, passing it around the circle, forming a ring of light. And may you be warmed and rejuvenated by the light of the sun, today and always. The sun radiates out, never dying, never fading. The light and warmth of today will stay with us, even as the days begin to grow shorter and the nights grow cold once more. Hail to the spirit of the sun. Thank you for your warmth, blessings, and generosity. Thank you for sharing your light with me and all of creation. I bless and celebrate, praise, and thank your light, all the abundant gifts of love that you share, are, and give. Yeah. And it's just that, you know, simple. The sun doesn't wait for someone to thank him to shine. He just does. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I like that too, like where just shine for the joy, just because you are. And it's just the expression of that, all that we are. Yeah. So, and then the element of fire, and the fire is all about purification and communication. And so I've been doing a lot of that, and just, yeah, reflecting about like the healing and the cleansing and the sunlight and the waters and frog medicine. Yeah. And the thunder and the lightning and the rain. And it has been stormy over the last 2 days or so, but like sunny as well. So it's been nice, yeah, to have that contrast too. Yeah, cool and warm and wet and warm and, yeah, and dry and, yeah, sunny. So it's like refreshing, changes, and, yeah, all that with the elements and the breezes and the seasons. Yeah. So it's been a beautiful, yeah, it's been a beautiful time since the summer solstice, since I had my summer circle at my home on the 14th, and I've gotten a lot of good, yeah, summer lessons and celebrations and gifts. Yeah, lots of good alchemy, lots of good realizations and insights and visions. Yeah, cleansing my vision, cleansing my perception. And that's like one other thing that's kind of funny too, is at the beginning of the year, like maybe like, or end of February time, I started having like eye issues, like with my eyes. And it was just like blocked little glands and stuff, but they were causing like little pimples that would become huge, like just huge little cysts and or styes and things, and it caused some discomfort, and it didn't look very pretty, and it was, yeah, just kind of really bothersome. And I think, yeah, it had to do with like stress, and I knew it had to do with energetic perceiving and what I was receiving, what I was taking in, and yeah, what I wasn't able to allow, and just like trying to purify that perception, that vision, and that, yeah, the reception of that perception and all that to be clear. And so it's kind of funny like that, yeah, as I'm seeing more clearly too, like those things are clearing up. And it's kind of funny, and it does have to do with the light. Like choosing to see the light and asking to see the light and asking to change my mind and asking for things to be shown. And being willing. Like also, like, I'm willing to see this. Like, yeah. Please show me what I need to see, and I'm willing, like, to let this be, but, like, if I can see something deeper about it, please, yeah, help me to see into it. And all of that. So I'm always all about that, like, to go beyond what I think I know and what I can grasp. Like, I always know there's more to it. I know it's never settled, and it's always kind of incomplete, just like it's funny, like the Ouroboros' perception. It can never see all of itself, and that's kind of like, yeah, us and God. We're always discovering and uncovering and exploring more of ourselves, and as soon as we do that, it's like an expansion, and there's more of ourselves to explore. So it's like, yeah, there's always going to be stuff, of course, always, that we don't know and that we can't see and that will yet be. And of course, that's how it is, because it's always generating, it's always creating itself. And so, like, yeah, it's funny to get, like, stuck on one thing, of course, but, like, yeah, we all have our stories and our own agendas to kind of structure kind of certain security, whether that's ego or whether that's true self, you know, but, like, it all relates anyways. It's all part of the whole self. It's all part of the God self anyways. Whether we construct it and it's kind of artificial, you know, or our own creation, or if it's like organic and like more aligned with what's really true, you know, it's like, it's all it's all our creation. It's all part of the God self. It's all us. It's all true in certain ways, even if it's not true. It's funny to think about that. And so that's like where the devil comes in too. And I was thinking about the devil a couple times where, yeah, that archetype has come up several times and I haven't acknowledged it. Like where coyote keeps coming up, and or in my writings I'll keep writing tricky devil or something like that. But then I kind of failed to acknowledge, like, that was the archetype of the devil coming up, and the mischief maker, and the one that challenges, and the one that likes to create conflict or strife or temptation to challenge and to, like, help you set right or steer you off your path. Like, it is like kind of like a coyote in a way, setting up pop quizzes to challenge you, you know, like, yeah, when I say something like, I'm gonna do this, it's just kind of funny where it reminds me of like something Alan Watts would say about, like, if you're gonna change, don't tell the devil, because yeah, he's gonna be right there to trip you up or something. It's kind of funny. You just, yeah, that's just the stream that I'm kind of going on. But it's funny. But I actually did put the devil archetype card. Yeah, I actually did put it in the book, in my medicine book, like maybe 2 weeks ago, and I put it into like this place of coyote because I was going to like read about it and I kind of forgot. And so that's kind of funny that it was just hiding in the book waiting for me to come back to it. And I acknowledged, yeah, like, hey, that's a good one for me to work with too. Like after it nudging me for a couple days, like I was like, oh yeah, okay. And so I picked up my Tarot Revisioned book by Lady McCloskey because I wanted to read more about temperance because I was working with temperance also. And then started reading about the devil, and I was kind of blown away, like with everything that I talked about in my last video with being challenging and being challenged and all of that. Oh my gosh, that's so freaking funny. So I gotta acknowledge that and read just a little bit of it because it was the devil. It's totally the devil. And I got to play that devil too, and like have those like little demons pop up for me this week, where it was like all those projections that were being like kind of flung at me. That's what I felt like. Yeah. It was like, yeah, some of it was mine and some of it wasn't. Yeah. So it was kind of, yeah, interesting to see, like, with in hindsight and with deeper, clearer insight. And so, hi, friend. Well, my friend. My little dog is here. Hello. Hello. How you doing? Thank you. Love you too. So the devil says, whoever wishes to deny nature as an organ of the divine must begin by denying all revelation. Whoever wishes to deny nature as an organ of the divine must begin by denying all revelation. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Yeah. Oh, Goethe. The devil. The devil archetype is the 15th key in the Tarot Arcana and is represented by the cardinal earth sign Capricorn. So, like, you know, we see him as a goat. It really gets my goat. Yeah, like the stuff that's really triggering me. Yeah, I can be like the devil, like, you know. So, it's kind of funny. Just poking you in the butt with his pitchfork and driving you nuts. So Capricorn is ruled by the planet Saturn and is associated with limitation, restriction, earthly power, and matter. The Greeks personified Saturn as Kronos, who severed his father from his mother, or heaven from earth, and in doing so fashioned time. Time implies cycles and periods of space and duration, which create the illusion of separateness, allowing for manifestation. The Hebrew letter ayin, meaning foundation, and I are associated with this path. Renewing intelligence is the mode of consciousness attributed to the devil, which is related to the quality of mirth. It might seem odd to apply qualities associated with laughter and merriment to this archetype, but in so doing, much misunderstanding of its deeper significance will become apparent. In pre-Christian times, the half-man, half-goat persona of the devil was originally that of Pan, an earth deity who celebrated and reveled in sensual delights of the earth. He played an important role as caretaker of the earth. The mellifluence of the music he played upon his pipe sang of the delight, mirth, and merriment that the earth and her many wonders so lovingly express. He was synonymous with fertility and love and all that was natural. It was the appending of malevolence and evil to Pan by the early church fathers that transformed his joyous life-affirming revelry into an instrument of conformity and distrust of the natural self. This was due in part to their fears of a return to paganism. Their dictum ultimately resulted in the aligning of sensual pleasure and belief in one's innate connection to God through nature and the body with lies, deceptions, and most importantly, evil. Pan became a devil, separate from God and the basis of sin. The cleaving of good and evil into separate identities helps explain the genesis of the devil archetype. When viewed for what this archetype actually symbolizes, one begins to appreciate the underlying emphasis of the devil, which is to cultivate an examination of any and all areas of existence and experience that have become rigid or fixed. The tarot devil symbolizes mastery over the objective world and form. In order to have mastery, one must learn through experience the materials with which one is working. The same is true in the development of human consciousness. Nothing is bestowed that is not earned. Every lesson learned in life, whether for good or ill, is slowly teaching the individual of personal responsibility and choice. The decisions that one makes, the fears attendant with change, the willingness to consider the greater good, are a necessary catalyst for developing an enlightened relationship with oneself and the world. It should be remembered that an evil or sinful nature is not the production of a devil, rather it is the manifestation of ignorance. The responsibility for evil in the world of man's making and will persist as a reality. The responsibility for evil in the world is of man's making and will persist as a reality so long as the laws of right thinking and right action are ignored. The tarot devil is the teacher of right knowledge concerning the illusionary nature of material reality. He assumes the role of tempter and redeemer, insisting that all desire for transformation and change be tested. Only that which is built upon a firm foundation will endure, all else will vanish. In terms of the tarot, it should be remembered that the devil archetype is the master of manifest form. His seeming reality is only an illusion which must be faced and conquered before one is able to penetrate further into the mysteries surrounding the nature of the inner self or individuality. Let's see. Let's see. The human imagination is a limitless resource of creativity, passion, pain, anger, love, tenderness, and cruelty. Its expression is seen in the greatest achievements of the human race, as well as within the destruction and violence of war, unresolved hatreds, and the rise of tyrants. As such, it represents a remarkable crucible within which hopes, dreams, fears, and yearning, not simply within the individual, but the race as a whole, find residence. One of the important roles played by this archetype is an instructor in the ways of the world and the magical properties of thought, will, and imagination. The devil archetype teaches a fundamental understanding that repressed thoughts and energy mirror back and amplify their negative expression. All thought and emotion generates their own psychic reality within the individual. If the individual does not recognize his own hand in the creation of mental phantoms, he can inadvertently engender forces that act autonomously and aggressively. These seemingly very real devils are due to an amplification of areas of the psyche that have congealed. What is created is, as the noted Swiss psychiatrist C.G. Jung writes, an autonomous being capable of interfering with the intentions of the ego, possessing a mental life of its own. The illusory and psychological origin of demons produced subjectively becomes forces independent of the personal consciousness that engendered it. It is a magical creation, magic representing the objectification of that which takes its origin in an individual's inner life. As such, it should be remembered that whenever fear of the unknown emerges or one strives to move beyond that which is familiar, there is often an encounter with seemingly very real phantoms of the mind that are frightful and intimidating to the ego. Their reality is energized by the individual's own fears. The reason for this is to ultimately challenge one to overcome fears by embracing them with love and forgiveness. It is teaching that one is not beset by forces from an outside agency, rather fears are given life and form the longer they are dwelled upon and left unchallenged. Let me read that again. As such, it should be remembered that whenever fear of the unknown emerges or one strives to move beyond that which is familiar, there is often an encounter with seemingly very real phantoms of the mind that are frightful and intimidating to the ego. Their reality is energized by the individual's own fears. The reason for this is to ultimately challenge one to overcome fears by embracing them with love and forgiveness. It is teaching that one is not beset by forces from an outside agency. Rather, fears are given life and form the longer they are dwelled upon and left unchallenged. A frightful devil is in many ways a symbolic translation of unresolved and conflicted areas within the self. Many shrink back when they have such an encounter, due in part from not recognizing that the one life force is raw power and neither good nor bad. It is the source of creativity, revelation, and destruction. Its course for good or ill is dependent upon individual direction, choice, and a willingness to surmount life's many obstacles. Ultimately, all personifications of the devil will be assimilated and transformed through personal responsibility for the full range of force and idea operating within embodied consciousness. This is no easy task and never a completed adventure. Rather, the devil teaches patience, perseverance, and tolerance on the journey towards self-knowledge. The devil holds the key to discovering how all manifested forms, including oneself, is an externalization of energy translated through the filter of conditioned reality. One is ultimately responsible for confronting even the darkest and most unconscious areas of the self in order to learn that what is dwelled upon or repressed energetically will assume a life of its own. Yeah. It's funny. One who challenges, and things like fears that go unchallenged really maybe come up as the demons in our life, or those adversaries, or those challenges that we don't like. That's funny. Yeah, a lot of that was just perfect, and just, yeah, I'm still processing all the different things that actually holds for me right now, and that is offering, and being, yeah, everything that's being given with that, like, realization. And yeah, that's pretty cool. And also, yeah, like the temperance thing, that was like so illuminating and interesting to see, like, how that all fit too, like with the things that I was going through. And it's more about like the tempering rather than a balance or moderation. It's yeah, a purification that we go through, like a dark night of the soul kind of thing. And yeah, it was really, oh my gosh, like I get to sit with temperance and meditate a little more, but like, because it was so profound, and I can already tell, like, I mean, there's just so much about like what I was working with when I was getting hits about it, like, that makes so much sense. And so yeah, it's just really cool to see those kinds of things like happen in at play, like, just like, yeah, how it all relates and helps me integrate all the stuff, yeah, all the things and all of me. So yeah, there's so much. And so yeah, wanted to just read, yeah, what was going on, yeah, maybe about nine or so days ago, and just have this flipped open here. And so, the wounded child, forgotten, cut off, abandoned, exiled. So letting go of stories, judgments, assumptions, expectations, agendas, listening, surrendering, opening, release, or relaxing into love, into space for it all. Hold it all, free it all, love it all, one with all. Loyalty, gentleness, trust, receptivity, willingness, devotion, love is one. Fears of violence or harm, mob mentality themes, unhealed aspects, asking to be seen, healed, integrated, forgiven and released, freed, softening, opening, relaxing, forgiving, making room, making space, letting go, breathing, beginning again and again. And then, oh yeah, and then the 21st, that was Father's Day, and that was summer solstice, yeah. And it was also the new moon, and eclipse was around that day as well. And yeah, this is what I wrote. Eclipse, solstice energy, summer love, awakening, celebrating, connecting, horizontal bearing beam. In all directions circulates divine joy. In all directions circulates divine energy. Crystallized, related, awakening, receptivity, gratitude, surrender, humility, innocence, unself-consciousness, appreciation, opening, making room, letting go, letting love, letting her hold me, letting God, trusting God, letting love, holding love, choosing allowance, all is love, let go, let God. And then, yeah, I got to spend time with family that day, got to spend time with kids in the morning for breakfast, and that was nice, and then with the folks in the evening for dinner, and the siblings, yeah, my sister and my niece, and yeah, dad and family and husband, and yeah, that was really awesome to be able to spend that time with family and have that kind of a beautiful day together. So yeah, it's been like, yeah, lots of blessings, lots of really good, intimate sharing, but also like a lot of good challenges. And so it's all of it. And so yeah, I'll just be glad and thank all of it. And yeah, that's what my approach is lately to a response. Like when something doesn't feel good or something comes out of the blue, it's like, yeah, it's just to check in, and it's just like, yeah, to clear certain things and, yeah, to respond. Yeah. And so, what else can I share about? Oh yes, there was actually so much. So yeah, that's what made me think about the wheel too. It's like all the riches and like the 7 points to like on the wheel of fortune that we go around and that we can experience. And it's kind of funny, like what is it? War and peace and poverty and riches and fortune and glory. I don't know what the other one is, but yeah, you get the idea. But I totally was like, what is all this about the miser and about what can't be allowed and why can't it be challenging and why can't I be challenging and why can't people be challenged and why can't we challenge ourselves and why can't we challenge our beliefs and why don't we challenge what we're being told and why don't we challenge our own bullshit and, just everything. Kind of just venting and just wondering like why everybody wants everybody to be so goddamn perfect or think or do it their way. Like their way is so fucking right. Like, I don't know. It's just sick of the guilt trips and just like unsolicited advice. And it's like, fine, yeah, well-meaning people, but like at a certain point there is an agenda and it is like, yeah, that's when you got to set your boundaries because it doesn't have integrity and it's not honest. Yeah. It doesn't feel right anyways. So, and I just let myself express like how angry I was about certain things, and it was like, just don't judge it like for being mean or for not being nice, because my religion is kindness, but that doesn't mean that I have to be nice all the time, because that's not kindness and that's not love and that's not true for me. If I need to speak up and I need to say something that someone judges as mean or doesn't like it, like that's just like how it's got to be. That's just how it's got to be. And I've got to give myself permission to be able to say what I need to say and stand up for me and speak up for me and also have my own moments and be accountable to me. But like, yeah, own my own power, my own authority, and my own right to say this doesn't work for me. Nope, that is not true for me. And no thank you. I will not agree to your emotional garbage, because it's not true for me. And don't try and fling it on me, and don't try and condemn me with your emotional garbage. Yeah, your bullshit, your projections, your opinions. You have no idea, like, thank you, but no thank you. So, yeah, that's what I get to do. And not feel bad about it, or guilty, or ashamed, or feel that I'm untrue, because that's, like, yeah, that's one of the things. It's like, just because someone expects me to be nice all the time and make other people comfortable and go along, that doesn't make me wrong if I need to like stand up for myself and go against that old song, So that's what I am beginning to practice, and know that even when I need to go against the grain, I still belong. And yeah, and I'll sing my songs. Yeah. So it's right for me to go off here, my thoughts, my personal mirror, although I am not my thoughts, the story of stones. Oh, the story of stories. Maybe it's like those who throw stones at glass houses. Who knows? The story of stories brings up a lot, so it's good to pay attention in certain ways, how it may be hijacking my energy. And I'm willing to admit that she might feel really sick and that there might be an imbalance. But like this, I was trying to figure out. And I do feel in a way that we create our own stress and our depression, our isolation, pain, guilt, and shame. And I don't understand this chip on the shoulder and why it feels like really old to me already. So I'm having like trouble wanting to hold space and allowing the other to be human. Yeah. to be wounded, to be imperfect, to be stupid. Oh yeah, I can feel that way. Because we're all a little stupid sometimes. Stupid is as stupid does. And it's just like, it's one of the labels. And it's just ignorance, you know? And it's just not being able to see. And it's just part of our limitation. And, you know, like, yeah. So some of us, we've all been blind, deaf, and dumb sometimes. And that's okay. That's part of being human. We all have our blind spots and our limitations. And so, like, yeah, we don't need to judge it. But we can, yeah, like we can kind of see it. Or we can allow it. Or we can understand, like, that it is what it is sometimes, you know. And so I don't have to like her. I don't have to like this. I don't have to like, yeah, any of it. But I can still be kind and open to understanding, and be allowing of her, be allowing of me, be allowing of this, and allow it to be. And I can still think certain things, and I can still say that bitches be tripping, bitches with stories, agendas, and whatever, self-deceptions and projections, bitches be healing the wounds of the collective feminine by telling it like it is, fucking is, bitches, bitches be tripping. Bitches and victims, cheers, fuckface, eat it, bitch please, with molasses on top, be a victim somewhere else, just please. Choose to be somewhere else, if not working here, being here is too hard for you, oh my god, dear. Maybe that's just what it's about, the pain, avoidance, and fear, not wanting it to be here. And not wanting to be here. When it's uncomfortable, insecure, the miser rejecting life, rejecting her fullness, rejecting life. When conditions get uncomfortable in both ways, the miser afraid of her fears of emptiness, lack, and the miser rejecting what's being offered. The miser doesn't see the value. The miser is missing out on the whole damn point of exchange. The miser is above it all. The miser thrives off the pain. The miser uses shame and blame, distractions to avoid accountability or take responsibility for creating lack, imbalance, stagnation, suppression, tension, discord, and disease. And so it was like, yeah, it was all about the miser and all of that kind of stuff, where it was reflecting stuff back to me from a relationship, but like also in archetypal stories that were going on inside of me and that I was picking up on, like, yeah. And so it was so loaded and so potent, yeah, with the miser. So rejection, dishonoring of the full exchange, dishonoring, disallowing of expression, the range of emotions and energies, the creative, cyclic, wild, fertile, free right to be, even if they are bitchy, fierce, whatever they be a bitch, be full, and be free. Exchange, express, create, forgive, release, heal, cry, cleanse, honor the tears, let go, release, see and acknowledge fears and desires, stories, agendas, triggers, illnesses, choices, confront, examine, challenge all beliefs, attitude, perceptions, choices, and responsibilities. Take accountability for your own thoughts, choices, feelings, actions, your creations, your being's wellness, fullness, your creative energy, your choices, your life, your well-being, your emotions, your attention, direction, reception. Free everything else, release everything else, free everything else, free yourself, love yourself, be yourself, own yourself, know yourself, free yourself, love yourself, be yourself. So, yeah. Oh yeah, and this is right before I started to do that investigation on the word etymology and the wheel of fortune, because I was getting all these stories that were coming up, and it was so funny, like, this is required discipline and focus to see like what was coming up from the unconscious and what wanted to be seen about it, because it was just, yeah, kind of just really funny and just like something that kept coming up to trigger me and spark some kind of charge. So I paid attention and I realized it was a story, and instead of fighting back, I could play back. And so this is what this piece is called, Playback, and it's a story with a charge. Poor fucking you, poor fucking me. What's the lack all about? What is the poverty? What's the story of lack? What's the poverty story about? What's the etymology of victim, poverty, lack, debt, usury, carrying burdens? Why not let go? Why not allow? Why not enough? Why too much? Why disallow? Why disallow her fullness, the fullness of life? Why is her fullness being disallowed? Hurtful expression. Why the frustration, hostility, discord, disallowance, disease? Is it rising? Is it the rising rage or the silent, suppressed rage coming to the surface to be seen? Healed, integrated, known, and misdirected, or dumped? Is it the dishonoring of life's fullness, the dishonoring of life's integrity, or the lack of? Bitches be trippin', LOO trippin' bitches, bitches trippin', trippin' bitches. Collective feminine, healing old wounds of poverty, lack, usurped power, magic, and fertility. Take responsibility, play back, play fool, play fool. Sometimes it's right to fight back. Sometimes we get to pause and reflect, open, surrender, get still, ribbit, ask for clarity and protection. Frog, muddy waters, temperance. Move to another lily pad to get another clear perspective. Swim, sing, call, listen, trust, ask, receive, open, listen, call in clarity, rain, replenishment, cleansing energy, washing away all that is not true and aligned or in harmonic resonance with all the love I want to co-create, invite, cultivate, propagate, navigate, experience, participate, and birth, midwife, into being, life, manifestation, prosperity, authentic intimacy, freedom, belonging, inclusivity, harmony, peace, wellness, fullness, well-being, empowered, well, whole, free, growing, thriving, expanding, stretching, nourishing, connecting, supporting, valuing, honoring, sharing, offering, serving, giving, living, expressing, embodying, practicing, nurturing, allowing, encouraging. Gentle strength and fiery, spicy, tell it like it is. I am no longer willing to sugarcoat shit and call the shit a brownie when it's clearly shit. That's just the way it fucking is. And if I get to be a bitch in your story and in my story, yay, that just gets to be what it gets to be. Fucking bitch, saucy, fiery, sassery, wiry. I'll tell you how it fucking is, bitch. Bitch with molasses on top. Please, bitch. I'll play the part of the bitch like no one else's biz snatch. That's the truth. I'll be a bitch like no one else. Okay, let's play. Go bitches. Light shadow action. Wake up and play. Hug your bitch once a day. Unless she wants more, then bitch please. Speak up. Claim all your hugs and plays. Claim your bitch, live your life, just wake up and play. All the roles that we get to project, express, reflect, share, relate, live, and be. All the players and stories, all this love for all of we. LOL, silly beings being silly, silly beings. Forgot you've been playing and you got carried away by the emotional waves of ego identity, the false personality that disallows full potentiality, fertility, expression, reception, connection, exchange, circle of all things, as emptiness is to fullness, fluid perception, and living energies for love to express her creativity through all her ways, love's waves through all ways, love always. Yeah. Well, that was fun. So it's just kind of fun and playful, like where it's like I give my permission to say, oh yeah, bitches be tripping, fucking bitches. And you know, like it just comes out like how it needs to come out, like, and it's just joyful, playful, true wisdom, simplicity, and the devil that challenges the stuff and challenges our shit and makes fun of it, you know. And so how cool is that? How full is that? And how tricky is that? How funny is that? So, oh shit. Yeah, this has gotten long. But yeah, I will stop it there for now, but I thought that was great. Alchemy 8, and yeah, maybe I'll talk about temperance and a little bit more about the miser and the gifts and the bitch next time. So it's been good, fertile, potent shit. All the bullshit, all of it, for fertilizer, compost, and growing it. So yay. Here's to all of it. And I'll see you again. Thanks for listening. I'll see you. Be well. Ciao. See you soon. For now.